Hello and welcome to another edition of the Gadget Show Web TV. This is the new Nikon D3, Nikon's latest professional standard digital SLR. It's also their first full-frame digital SLR, which means it has a sensor which is the same size as a frame of 35mm film. They're calling it their FX sensor to distinguish it from the smaller DX-sized sensors that have featured on all their digital SLRs to date. So what's the point of having this bigger sensor? Well, you get a bigger, brighter viewfinder image, so if you're moving from a film SLR, you'll feel right at home. You can also use your old 35mm lenses without any change in the focal length, which is handy. But the big deal with this camera is that the bigger sensor allows you to get much more high sensitivity images without lots of digital noise on them. I mean, if, like me, you've got the camera to play with over Christmas, you can take some pictures of your homemade Christmas decorations at 6400 ASA with scarcely any digital noise in sight. Obviously, for people who mostly be using this camera, photojournalists, it means they can get excellent reportage shots in any situation. Though, and you can actually even push the camera higher than that. You can actually turn it up to 25,600 ASA and get pictures which aren't entirely unacceptable. This is a camera which can really make the dark daylight. It is that good. Obviously, you won't want to be taking pictures in the dark all the time, and there are some disadvantages with having a full-frame sensor. The depth of field isn't as good, and the lenses are bigger for a given level of magnification. But there's another exceptional thing about the D3, and that's its speed. This is the first digital SLR I've tried with no more shutter delay than the mechanical one of a traditional top-flight film SLR. They're quoting 37 milliseconds, and I've no reason to doubt it. With this, when you see somebody's expression in the viewfinder, you can capture it just like that. It really is that fast. Add the speed with that light sensitivity, and you have a really wonderful tool for photojournalism. It'll deal pretty well with sports too. It does 9 frames per second, which is pretty impressive, and the 51-point autofocus system automatically tracks moving targets with great efficiency. It costs $3 grand, which isn't exactly cheap, but it is much cheaper than Canon's top-of-the-range EOS, the 1DS Mark III, which admittedly has 22 rather than this one's 12 megapixels. But it's incredibly well made, as you'd expect, and more importantly, very nice to handle. It's also been very well thought out, everything from the incredibly detailed LCD screen with that sophisticated live view feature to the twin CF card slots, so you can shoot JPEG and RAW at the same time on different cards if you should want to. The D3 is an astounding achievement. In recent years, I thought Nikon had given up on the professional digital SLR market altogether, but this shows they're really back in the frame with a product that's arguably better than anything from their rivals Canon. And that sort of competition can only be good for everybody.